When I'm running a lot, I tend to focus on my core strength. I love my upper body. One, it looks great, but the other thing it does for me is just raise my body so my hips don't hurt. A lot of strength training for me is just about pulling everything back apart. So for instance, when I get over to the pull-up bar, I'm lengthening, I get up here, I get a good lengthen, but I also get really good back muscle strength, which I like. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started to focus on it, and I really made a point to really be able to do sets of pull-ups. Second exercise I always like to do, mix into my workout, is chest workout. A good fly, a good chest press with dumbbells, strengthens the chest. I love it. First of all, again, it looks good. Second of all, it just makes my body feel more sturdy and gives me a foundation for my muscle growth. So we're gonna start pretty light. I'm more reps over heavy. We'll get the full range of motion. And then I always like to put my hands in different positions to get a little different angle on the muscle. So I grew up in a small town in Eastern Washington. I played football in high school, and as you guys know, I was much bigger. I probably averaged, in my high school days, between 270 and 280, 290. I got to 320 pounds in college. So one of the things, growing up on a farm, we moved a lot of hay, bucked a lot of hay, loaded a lot of trucks, had to move cattle around in the chutes, really functionally strong. So when I was in high school, I could deadlift 690 pounds, and I set the high school record at the time. So now I deadlift for flexibility and mobility as running. As you can see the bar, there's 15 pounds on each side, a 45-pound bar, so that's 75 pounds. So I'm really just working on my mobility here. I'm trying to get full range of motion, the hips to unlock, and I'm gonna do a lot of reps. I'm gonna get in here and do probably 20. It can be humbling at times to go from 650 pounds to 135, but I'm a different machine now too. I don't have the mass that I used to have to move the mass. So much different animal. So adopting to it, I'm proud of the people who have strength in their workout, but you don't need to effectively work and train your body, especially for a run, because that bigger muscle mass that you're accumulating through strength training is actually hard to carry around. Hammer curls during a run, this range of motion is very consistent throughout the run. Obviously, for any type of runner, we like to see that motion go straight forward, straight back, being firm and fit through this motion. I was gonna say it's key. It's good. It's not gonna hurt you if you don't do bicep curls, but for me, I know it makes me feel a lot better. For most runners, you wanna just be really confident in your stride. So when I think about running, I want all my motion going forward, backwards, nice, light, not clinched. We see this sometimes with other runners. Obviously, any motion that's not going straight forward is negative. It's hard on the shoulders. It's just physics. It's not going to glide you forward, take you forward. Now I get people have different running styles, and I'm not one to make fun of them. I'm sure I have hitches in my giddy up, but for the most part, we want to be strong. We want to move forward. We want to lean forward, and we want a midfoot strike. Okay, now we'll focus on a little bit more back. I'm a really big fan of back movements. Like I said, when I went through my protocol to get to where I could comfortably do pull-ups, I had to strengthen many layers of my back. And actually I started, because I couldn't do an actual pull-up, I started with assisted pull-ups. But more importantly, I did all the back exercises I could that didn't involve a pull-up. So one is the lawnmower pull, I call it. Sit on the bench and pull back like you're starting a lawnmower. Really focus on that back area, pinching those shoulder blades together. Again, this is great for the core as well. You know, a lot of these mobility exercises, you know, inadvertently are always hitting the core, which no matter what, the core is incredibly important to running. When I started running during COVID and really putting in a lot of miles, I stopped working out entirely except for running, and I really had a problem with my pelvic floor. I would have these incredible aches deep inside my groin area, and it turns out it was like my hips were collapsing and my core, because it wasn't strong, it wasn't pulling everything apart, and it really led to a lot of discomfort in a very odd way. So ever since I picked up a consistent workout routine, there's a lot of things I don't experience. You know, running, any repetitive motion, whether sitting at your computer, playing with your mouse, or, you know, if you're a delivery driver, you know, repetitive movements, you know, if you don't strengthen all the other aspects of your muscle, is going to eventually lead to some type of discomfort, pain, or injury. So whether you're running, sitting at a desk, or playing basketball all the time, a wide range of movements will help you avoid injury. Okay, we're gonna do some step ups next. I really like it. Again, it works on my mobility, gets me good stretch, make sure my glute is strong, but it also engages my calf, ankles, everything. So I'm gonna step up here, get to a full stretch, get back down, and we're gonna do 10 a side. I love these. It's very similar to a lunge. It overextends my knee, so it strengthens all my knee muscles as well. You gotta be careful with this. If you're not strong enough to do it, don't start here. There's modifications. You can look on YouTube how to do this. But I really like to get some workout. Even though running really taxes my legs, there's always room for some other lifts, indoor movements like lunges or step ups or deadlifts to really target different areas of the leg. All right, for the next lift, we're gonna do some deep squats, really work on the hips, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about, you know, does this really help with my running? So this angle, it allows me to get deeper, more flexibility through my hips. Again, as a big guy, I always focus on my hips mobility, right? I gotta get low to catch my son's fastball or play with my kids. I really need my hips. They're the first thing to tighten on my long runs, the first thing that makes it uncomfortable after my long runs. So I'm always working on my hips. So we're gonna go deep, you know, really focus on the posture and back up. So I usually like to do 10 of these. It's you'd be surprised how hard it hits. When I'm in big training sets for my running, I try to get in all my leg workouts, but I try not to get extreme because my legs are tired, but I still need that mobility. The question I often get asked is, you know, how does this all make you a better runner? Does it make you a better runner? Can you get better by not running? So the answer is no. Running begets running. If you can put in 100 miles a week, you're going to be faster. You're going to run sub 3 hours. You are going to be the 1% of marathon runners in time. That's the only way to do it, is put in time, running. All this other stuff we do, weight training, biking, rowing, swimming, those are all fantastics for your muscles and giving you some relaxation and stretching them in different ways. And what it does for me personally is it keeps me running longer so I can get better at it. I am always trying to figure out, how does that 20-mile run feel better? You know, so I'll focus on my runs and be like, oh man, I had a lot of tightness in my calves. I'll look on YouTube. What are some things I can do to release my calves? I can roll. You know, I can do a couple different exercises. You know, I can take a break. But those don't actually make me a better runner. Those just make it so I can run more to become a better runner. And so I want to stress that topic. You know, you want to get better at running, you got to run. You want to run a lot, you got to do the things to keep you out running. You know, I have good friends they have a little bit more time than me, and they're getting massages and they're doing all kinds of yoga or Pilates, and those are all fantastic. And they are awesome runners because they when they're running, they run pain-free, they run for a long time, they're worked out, all the lactic acid, every run is worked out through those things like ice baths and saunas, and those are all, but the only reason why they're really good at running is because they're out there running. So get out and run, show up.